That's what we have left for you.
Thank you. How much time do I have?
8 minutes.
Thank you very much. That's perfect. I think I'd like to focus on the Golden Triangle because that's what it's all about. The Golden Triangle, as you know, is a unique area, which is a world-class area that has significance well outside the boundaries of the city of San Diego. You have a university, you've got medical research, you've got scientific research, you've got retail. What goes on in the laboratories up there affect the world. But it's a victim of its own success, and it's been expanded far beyond the time when I co-authored the community plan as chairman of the University Community Planning Group back in 1986. The 1987 plan that was approved by the council, and that was the last plan that was approved, and it's still in place today with amendments, of course, has expanded the development that even we foresaw. It's so important, and that traffic is so bad, and I can tell you when we talk to people, they keep saying, well, you know, traffic is terrible, but it'll be better when they build a bridge. And we have to tell them, well, wait a minute now, the bridge is being threatened. They don't know. I can tell you comfortably, I've lived in a neighborhood overlooking Regents Road with my wife, Mary, for 46 years. And so I can tell you I've been waiting a long time for that bridge. That bridge needs to serve the needs of the Golden Triangle. And right now what we're doing is basically treating it as a person with one leg cut off, and we can't do that. I have some illustrations for you that I'd like you, and I think you should have them in front of you. And I'd like to start with this one that says, time to bridge the gap. Now, I hear from Debbie Knight that she says that the wildlife agencies are very much against this. Well, the wildlife agencies have jumped the gun. Debbie likes to design the bridge so that you fill it in. But the way to take care of the bridge is to have a design competition, and that bridge has never been designed. It's only been a concept that's been used in the studies. We need to design the bridge that addresses those issues. The wildlife agencies can't really comment on it because they don't have a bridge-specific EIR to comment, and that's when their comments will have some relevance to the issue. The Corps of Engineers, are they going to argue that the creek, which is usually 12 inches wide most of the year, are they going to argue that the creek will be harmed by a bridge? Bridges don't ruin canyons. If we thought that was the case, we would be an isolated city of villages. And yet the city of villages policy stresses connectivity. And never was connectivity more important than it is now. Now, we need that bridge. We need that bridge for emergency vehicles and better response time. We need that bridge as a way of escaping if there's a natural disaster. And I was there during the Cedar Fire, and we thought that fire was going to come down to the canyon. It had jumped 8:05. And we suddenly realized, because we don't have an avenue to leave to the north, that if it comes down San Clemente Canyon, we're not going to be able to get out because the entire community will have to try and empty out through one road, Genesee. And we're a community of 14,000 people. So there are a number of good reasons why you have to have the bridge from a safety standpoint. Now, I'd like to point out one thing on its time to bridge the gap. In the lower right-hand corner, you'll see Lahit Court. Much has been made about a drainage in that area that would be destroyed if the bridge were built. I've kind of yellowed out an area there, and that's all fill. There was a nice drainage that extended back in to the community, and back in 1978 that was filled in order to build that court and some other development. There's this shoulder there, and it's just kind of a knuckle that goes down to the ground. We don't have to fill that in. We need to build the bridge to accommodate it. The bridge is only so wide, and yet the canyon is huge. You see the railroad tracks. Take a look at that other picture. This is what the problem is. People are crossing. Now that we've got it up here, if you look at the north side on the upper left, you'll see a trail coming down to the railroad tracks, and then if you follow that trail, you see it finally comes up to Regents. People are using that trail because they have to cross the canyon. And there are a lot of people that come across the canyon because some of them need to go to school and for other reasons. Meanwhile, bikers are coming down the canyon and crossing the railroad tracks illegally, as well as these pedestrians. And here's an example of an adult and a child walking across the tracks. 52 trains a day go through there now. When we finish double tracking the corridor, that will probably ramp up to about 130 trains a day. We have the second busiest rail corridor in the United States. It's exceeded only by the Northeast. This is sort of preposterous to suggest that somehow this canyon is going to be ruined. I've been down in the canyon many times, and I can tell you, if you want to take the 2 utility roads, which are the main trails, and are fenced off from being able to get to the creek, you can't even see the creek until you get down to the far end. Signs saying keep out, and no trespassing. So there has to be an accommodation there. This bridge will not destroy the canyon, but it's definitely an important need to support the needs of the Golden Triangle and the mobility, which is its lifeblood. And I can tell you what's going on in Genesee right now is a crime. And we don't need to do anything with Genesee. Those people have suffered enough. They've borne the brunt of it. We're two communities. We're a community of people who want something to serve the entire community, and there are people who want to protect their property values, and they love the idea that a 4-lane collector, which at times is a 6-lane collector, will take you all the way through 3 council districts, across 4 freeways as Claremont Mesa Boulevard, into the eastern end of Tierra Santa. Now, you can get on that thing, and you don't even have to take a freeway, and you can cut off go all the way over to the other side of the city. It's important to recognize that this is not a District 1 issue. It is a city issue. And as such, we have to protect what is the most important center in our entire region, and that is the Golden Triangle and its environs. So look at the big picture and don't get caught looking down at someone who is taking a close-up, kneeling down in the canyon. There is plenty of space in the canyon. It's a great canyon to be in. That bridge will not destroy it. Now, one of the things that I've given you, and I recognize that you don't really have time, but if you look at the PEIR, and all these quotes from the PEIR are basically telling you about the environmental problems associated with not having the bridge. And they say again and again, this cannot be mitigated. And also, because of the traffic patterns, the emissions are greater. One of the figures that caught my eye is because if we don't do the bridge, we'll be, and thank you, this is probably time to
Go ahead, Harry.
I think I've made my point. Look at those comments from the PEIR, and you recognize that there are a lot of concerns and a lot of needs associated if we don't build the bridge. We've been collecting fees all these years. 30 years we've been collecting fees to build that bridge. It's free. It's paid for. What are you going to do with the money? You'll have to give it back. Thank you.
Thank you.